said I got.
It's only 8 a.m. I won't do it for the gram. I never mind no man. At my 2020, whoa, whoa. Woke up to deposits and it's only 8 a.m. Do it for the fam, I don't do it for the gram. Do it for my daughters, do it for my little man. That's my 2020, reason why I win. Lot of missed calls, looking bloody in my call log. I've been to myself, I'm not sorry that I logged, dog. Check my mental health, I was feeling like a lost dog. Bounce back and wipe my paws off. Get it off the humble and I stick to what I know. Nights on top of nights, long nights took a toll. Took some steps back, but I still get up and I go. And now you know, I'ma make some and I'ma spend it, yeah. New Jeep, no doors with it, no. I won't stop now, who you kidding, kidding. Every day I wake up, I'ma send it, I'ma send it, I'ma send it. Every day I wake up, I'ma send it, I'ma make some and I'ma spend it, Every day I wake up, I'ma send it. Pressure on me daily, got the family on my back. Dreams are getting bigger, put the city on my map. Wrote inside my palm, but I'll try not to get attached. Moment that is here, could be over just like that. Fast car, no NASCAR. I was never working hard, I guess I'm mad smart. Top speed like a rocket, it was blast off. 6 figures from my couch without a mask on. Waited for my cycle like a laundromat. Going to the moon, it's on top and that. 2 straight years of dropping back to back. Epidemic jumping like an acrobat. I'ma make some and I'ma spend it, yeah. New Jeep, no doors with it, no. I won't stop now, who you kidding, kidding. Every day I wake up, I'ma send it, I'ma send it, I'ma send it. Every day I wake up, I'ma send it, I'ma make some and I'ma spend it, Every day I wake up, I'ma send it. SOS, SOS, SOS. I got you, yeah. SOS, thought you was a threat. I do real life, do no tip or tat on the internet. We don't do that. See, I've been a threat and I've been a vet. Thought you knew that. We don't cash checks. I don't owe no debts. I've been through that. See you, SOS, SOS, SOS. See you, SOS. Need a life vest. Need no mic check. SOS, SOS, SOS. See you, SOS. We don't talk checks. We get to it. We get to it, yeah, we do it, yeah, I go up. We influence, yeah, see me moving, yeah, I glow up. Every time I show up, I can flip my switch out. They act like they know us, but they know dog, I'm big dog. Asking if it's still a flex, say they better go ask Booyah. Never think I'm gon' check, better pull up like woo. Come to place and I'm the best, I ain't worried about none who y'all. 24, no rest, stand on business, I'm too tall. Thought you was a threat. I do real life, do no tip or tat on the internet. We don't do that. See, I've been a threat and I've been a vet. Thought you knew that. We don't cash checks. I don't owe no debts. I've been through that. See you, SOS, SOS, SOS. See you, SOS. Need a life vest. Need no mic check. SOS, SOS, SOS. See you, SOS. We don't talk checks. We get to it. All in for the jackpot. Every time I want the last shot. Championship ring. Went to starter from a mascot. Went to rollies from a G-Shot. Brand new kettle, no teapot. You should know I don't play. Go sicko mode like I'm T-Scott. Eagle vision from the treetops. Went to image from a green dot. Never had no limit, but I had some Reeboks. Keep it humble, but the fee's not. In the game, no free spots. But I earn what's mine. Nothing less, I'ma shine. SOS, thought you was a threat. I do real life, do no tip or tat on the internet. We don't do that. See, I've been a threat and I've been a vet. Thought you knew that. We don't cash checks. I don't owe no debts. I've been through that. See you, SOS, SOS, SOS. See you, SOS. Need a life vest. Need no mic check. SOS, SOS, SOS. See you, SOS. We don't talk checks. We get to it.
Good morning all. Yes, sir. Hope everyone is well. Hope everyone is good. Happy. Today is Monday, first day of the week. And let's get it here. Let's get it. This is actually the last couple of days of the month here. When is the new month? So we're going to get a new day of the month on Wednesday. Okay. Wednesday, new day of the month. So midweek, we change to a new monthly candle. So yeah, last 2 days of the month now. And yeah, gold waking up here to all-time highs on gold. Definitely need to have a look what's going on here to see if we're going to get continuations or is that it in Asian. So we had around a 200 pip push from not only from Asian, but you know, Asian started back all the way down here. This is daily open. So since daily we pushed, I think almost 500 pips. Yeah, 500 pips exactly, actually a little bit more than 500 pips. So pretty big daily open here. Beautiful setup too. This is like a classic one, man. Close back above that. Very nice. So let's go bring this up here like this. 4 hour close above as well. Yeah, it's clean, right? So let's have a look. Let's have a look. Daily time frame, obviously bullish. I don't need to know rocket science needed. Weekly time frame, obviously bullish. Monthly candle is looking like a crazy monthly candle. That's a massive monthly candle will look like we're gonna form. 4 hour time frame closing bullish as well here. Bottom wick made on the 4 hour. We're breaking 4 hour high, stuck at 810. 810 is our key level for today. That is where most likely our buys are gonna come out. Now that's if we get continuation. We could pull back from here. We don't have the means to start to take pullback trades. Going against momentum is going to be extremely dangerous and something that can bite us very quick. We just want to follow the flow here. And if it reverses, nothing that we can do to control. Kind of like that trade we took last time where we just let it do its thing. We knew that was risky buying highs, but then we were treated by a 200 pip move, right? So we could have the same thing today, but remember Asian session has pushed pretty heavy. So realistically targeting 815 being conservative is not going to be out of the question and would be fine. So I would like to see a close above this 810, which we're retesting now right now. 6 minutes for the 50-minute to close, the 1 hour to close, and the 30-minute. They're all going to close together. We'll have a 1 hour close above, 30-minute close above, and a 15-minute close above. Going before that, a little bit risky in my terms here, but it is an option, man. If the last 5 minutes want to just rip here to 815, it can happen. But in order for that to happen, this 5 minute here in 1 minute has to close above this 810 here. So we'll see if it closes above. Is there 1 minute structure here? No, not really. For me, I'm really want to wait for that 15 because it's the hour close. I would hate to get into this trade. Next 5 minute close is bearish and we're stuck. The one thing I am worried about is think about this logically. If we're thinking one candle ahead right now, that means the next candle has to go up for us to be able to close above here. So both ways you're going to be needing that confluence of price going up. There's no other option. There's no other option except for price going up on the next candle for this trade to make sense. Otherwise, everything will close below. At the same time, that will keep us safe. But at the same time, we could just blast now with this volume and continue towards the upside. So what am I going to do? Well, right now, waiting for the 15 has always been the profitable move of all these breakouts because it's the 1 hour close. If we get into this right now and the 1 hour close is below, we have to close the trade at a loss, unfortunately. We can avoid that by just waiting 5 more minutes, being patient, in case this wants to take out the high, grab liquidity, and end up continuing down. So that's the best scenario. If we make an extremely deep bottom wick right now and retest into these zones down here and start to flip pretty quick, yeah, I think that's something we need to keep an eye on and maybe look to execute on, because that would be an opportunity we can't really miss, because now we've grabbed liquidity, we've proven. This is almost a retest to 810. It's nice enough to give continuation, but again, I'm worried by this high. Worried by this high. We go up, we break this high right now, we come down. What would be perfect right now, which is what I would hope for and would be the best case scenario and would be a no-brainer for me to give a shot, is going to be something called a thunderstorm setup, which we could definitely have if price wants to just move down a bit now, create some structure, end up closing above 10. Now, after all that explanation, we could actually end up closing below 10, and then we have to wait for something back above 10 again, or back above this resistance. If we close below 10, then our buys are going to come above where? Going to come above this. That's where our buys are going to come above if we close below 10. So we have to wait for that afterwards. So looking at DAX here on the other hand, start off on daily time frame here, actually weekly time frame. So weekly time frame here, closing bullish here. No bottom wick on this one here, on this broker, but I'm sure it's going to differ. Nice big weekly range we have to fill if we want to continue up, but we're stuck at our daily resistance still. So today is trying to close above, or at least get above it here. This is a major resistance zone we've been struggling at. Very tight, dirty consolidation here. You can see very, very messy price action. But previous daily bullish, previous 4-hour bullish, massive 4-hour rally here. Now pushing into our 4-hour resistances. We just tapped it on the last 4-hour. So if we're going to look for buys, we need to be above there. Bias is still bullish though. Bias is still bullish. Yeah, we have a lot of resistance zones around here. Huh? We have this one here. Let's see, that's like a 30-minute as well. 30-minute is a little bit higher as well. Ugh, disgusting. 15-minute here. So DAX is actually in a tougher spot than we think. So above the 15 we have buys though. If not, we can look for pullback buys, meaning we look for pullbacks down here and back above daily resistance for buys. Pretty simple on DAX. You know, DAX, we just need to get out of this zone. So no rocket science on DAX. Kind of looking to capitalize off pullback buys and then to continue up from here. Otherwise, we just leave DAX to let it do its thing. Very simple plan on DAX, honestly. Because when we're at these major resistances, we just want to be above it. We just want to be above it, get out of this zone and be done with the mess. So let's see what gold is doing here, starting to break the highs. We only have about 2 minutes for this candle to close here. We've just made the bottom wick. We started to break the highs now. Pretty damn big stop loss, unfortunately, on this type of candle. What are we looking like? A 90 pip stop loss here. Pretty crazy stop loss. But I don't think we can run any smaller. No, it's very tough to run smaller. We could run below this 5 if there's 1 minute structure here. There is. Yeah, that's how we can optimize stop loss, is just to run below this 5 and allow retest into here. Because we have all of these zones, luckily. We have this zone here. We have this zone here. And then our stop loss will be protected by this zone. Because if we're going to break out today, I don't mind it retesting this previous zone. But if it starts to get back inside the range and all of that, then I feel like it's going to be game over. So if we manage with that type of stop loss, we'll like remove it by 10 pips. Yeah, not the best, but hey, we'll take what we can get, right? So yeah, pretty big stop loss. $15 would be a watch zone / break-even zone. And then we would expect volume here on the next 1 hour. That's what we would need. Volume on the next 1 hour and the next 30. So again, guys, this is the same scenario like last Monday. If you remember last Monday, we took this exact same trade at the exact same time. It's really dependent on what the market wants to do here. We really don't know if there's going to be more volume today. Last Monday was insane, 200 pips. Today, it could maybe fail. But we have to take the opportunity. We don't get breakouts like this all the time. We don't get all-time high all the time. And as a trader, you have to just take what's in front of you. So today it could fail. Other days it can work out. That sucks that it's pushing here last minute towards 15. Makes it extremely hard for us to buy. So we need to maybe see if we can get a deep bottom wick here. That's what we need at the moment, is a good bottom wick. So let's see what ends up happening here with the bottom wick. How much further can we make a bottom wick? If not, we just have to be aggressive with it, I guess. Yeah, so no bottom wick, just barely making a bottom wick, still continuing. Such a hard trade to enter, you know, no 5-minute structure, nothing. It's a very difficult scenario because we just don't have room to 15, right? 15 is, we don't have room. That's my problem here. So I wanted deep bottom wicks because look, on broker, have we tapped 15 on broker? Yeah, we tapped already 15 on broker. So that's what I mean. You take that trade, now you're break even already. Or you're in loss because you didn't have time to go to break even. So that's the problem at being at 15, right? 15 is our key level here. So as we can see, we tapped it already. And now we're rejecting it, right? That's why I didn't want to buy without a deep bottom wick, because we needed something to help us to push through that 15 level. What can help us push through that 15-minute level is going to be liquidity. Not 15 level, that 15 level. We could be aggressive with 1 minute closes above, yeah. That could be our most aggressive option, is to try a 1 minute close above the 15 level here. So let's see if that happens though. We have about 10 seconds for this candle to try close above. We could take that 1 minute strat here, very aggressive trading. We could put stop loss below here. Give it some room. So we didn't close above yet. Most aggressive stop loss, imagine guys, 1 minute stop losses here are 40 pips. So we're really dealing with some massive ranges here. So really be calculating your stop losses today. Make sure you're not doing anything silly, because you're going to get punished. So we have all the closes, so we can use this 1 minute now to try jump in quick. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed the analysis, by the way, make sure to do the YouTube business. You know the drill. Leave a like on the stream. Hate to say part of the game. 300 of us in here, 34 likes. We can get it up at least to 100, so we get the volume we need. So let's see if we can take a 1 minute strat here. Ooh, so this candle gapped up, still tapping 15 here. So personally, I cannot take anything till we get above 15. It's just going to be my rules, right? So I need at least a 1 minute close above, because we could have heavy selling pressure from this zone. You can see it's struggling, so it's showing me that this zone is still somewhat relevant. So until I get above it here, there's nothing I can do. Because I don't want to be the guy just buy and then boom, I get stuck in this candle right here, which we can see happening. That candle is nasty. And make sure you're measuring today. I'm going to keep saying this, guys. Just this 1 minute candle here is 21 pips already. Right? Tiny pullback, 21 pips. If you're not measuring, calculating stop loss, you're going to get extremely injured today if you encounter a loss, okay? Because in this type of market conditions, you can lose very quick and win very quick. It's really up to price. You have volume today, easy trades. No volume, and it just ends up reversing from 15. That's it. We hit target, and 15 is the end of the move, and it does a nice little 1 minute fake out. You're done, right? And you just want to make sure that if you're done today, you're losing what you wanted to lose. And if you don't want to lose today and this is too intense, then you don't trade. Everything is under your control before you take the position. After you take the position, you've controlled everything you can. Now it's up to the market. So you have to do all of the thinking before you take the position. After the position is taken, you don't need to think much. All you need to do is analyze. Analyze what's happening at maximum, right? So let's see if we get the 1 minute close above here. We're creating good structure on 1 minute, but we need the close above that 15 level. It's going to be important. Nice little 5 minute resistance at least. So that's a good sign. That's a good sign for us to create some sort of structure. It helps. Gold did not retest 3,800 yet. Yeah, it doesn't have to retest 3,800. Doesn't have to. But if it wants to, it can. But remember, 3,800 is 150 pips towards the downside. It's possible, but it doesn't have to. SL for gold underneath 1 minute structure. Yeah, at this point, I would be taking it based on a 1 minute trade. trying to get from point A to point B, because I would expect the 815 to be a breakout zone. So once we get above 815, I expect us to hold 815. If we fake out back in, I want to be out of that position. Since we're buying pretty high up in the market today, we've already pushed 500 pips since market open. I also want to be out as fast as possible, so I rather optimize my stop loss. And the way I'm going to optimize my stop loss is to do what? Is to try run it on a lower time frame here because of the scenario we're in. But I want you guys to please notice a lot of people would have jumped into this 15-minute buy straight into key level. Now you're holding heavy drawdown, right? Yeah, it doesn't really matter with the big stop loss, but it's boring because you've ended up buying the highest point of the day. You have a 100 pip stop loss, and now you're saying, shit, how much drawdown do I have to hold today? Even though relative to your stop loss, this is not much drawdown, but look how much you need to make even a 1-to-1. Your 1-to-1 is all the way up here, man. So you're sitting here being like, shit, you know, this is going to be a long trade, which could stop you out and could take a lot of time, which is fine. But it sucks to be in a long trade at the highs of the day because you need to make new highs for you to go and profit. Whereas if I just take a 1 minute close above, we are guaranteed new highs because it just made a new high. And if it ends up faking out, you know quick. You're not left in the dust where you're like, I don't know if this is going to continue or not. Big pullback here from our 4-hour zone here, coming back down on DAX. Counter bias setups today. We've seen quite a lot of counter bias moves on DAX. I think it would have to come below this 4-hour resistance here. Otherwise, we could just retest this 4-hour resistance. Yeah, that's where our sells would have to go. This is our pre-session range as well. Otherwise, some nice buys could actually pick up from here. We've had a lot of bullish momentum. Every pullback has been an opportunity. So this could just be another pullback that can end up allowing us to buy. So I want to keep that in mind because I could end up buying on this pullback as well. So if I'm going to counter trend this position here, I would need to see price at least leave Asian range. And if we can start to trade below Asian range, then I can possibly... Well, not Asian range, but basically my Asian low here. And that's how I see it. Good morning, brother. So we'll see. Lobsters today. Yeah, let's see what gold wants to do today, man. See how it wants to react around this 18 level. Is this our high for the day, or do we want more continuation? That is the question. Can this be a setup 2 on DAX after this pullback? Yeah, I want a little bit more than a setup 2. I'm back, Harry. Hey, Phil, man. Hope you're well, brother. Welcome back. Gold may retest previous 15. If that's the case, then we want to just be taking a buy back towards 815, not above 815, right? So we're going to dump here around almost 100 pips, right? From 815 down to almost 805s, right? It's about 90, 80 pip dump. Then I want to be capitalizing on that range and try to buy back up. If we just keep holding this area here and then get back above 15, we try the aggressive 1 minute scalp, try to get into a bit of profit, maybe trade up to 820s, call it a day, right? Leave runners if we want to, or we get stopped out because there's no continuation. This is the problem buying highs. It's either we have continuation or we don't. The best thing we can control is making sure we're not buying and selling at key levels. I was the giveaway winner. I want to thank you for the exclusive content. The psychology one is really good. Oh, I'm glad you like it, man. I'm glad you like it. That's the thing, man. People don't realize the value in here. Only 8 likes. Come on, boys. Yeah, they sleeping on the likes. They sleeping on the likes. That's him above, Jay. I woke up at 5 a.m. to go to the toilet, show Asian pushing to all-time high, took it. Man, that's a good time to wake up. That's a good time to wake up to go to toilet, man. 80 pips and it came back to break even. Ah, you tried to leave it for the day, huh? Yeah, the real star of Asian session was these type of trades down here, man. This is the one that really got going. So we're trying to get back to 815 here. Just had a 1 minute candle trying to come back towards it. 5 minute time frame close in 3 minutes. So it wouldn't be bad a 5 minute close above as well. So now I'm trying to think, would I take the 1 minute is enough, or should I go with the half on 1 minute, half on 5 minute? We'll see. Let's just get above. Let's get above this 15 first. It's gonna be the goal. 1 like equals 1 lot volume. Holy shit, man. Actually, we should do a challenge like this, you know? We should do a challenge. Every like equals what? 0.01, right? Lots. And then I take the position. That would be funny. Wouldn't it be better to wait for a 5 minute closing above on gold? It's always better, but with this type of volume, we need to be careful that we want to just, in this type of situation where we're at highs, we want to be in and out of the position as fast as possible, to be honest. Because we've had a push already. We're not coming from a time where this is our first breakout. We've actually broke out, like, you know, quite a bit. So I have 5 seconds for this 1 minute time frame to close above here. We're going to need a bottom wick on next candle here. It's not really convincing this after this straight push like this. I need to see something decent. This is stop loss is a bit big as well, you know. We're looking at here like a 55 with no 1 minute structure here. This is where it's a little, yeah, now it's making its bottom wick. So if it can come deeper and reflip, yeah, this is what I was worried about. See, trading 1 minute has its own style as well. It's not as easy as people think. Yeah, that's the type of thing. So now does it reflip? Now the question is, we have 1 minute for the 5 minute to close. So now it's making my one. This is, I hate when it's only 1 minute. If it was 3 minutes before the close, I take half at least on 1 minute here. But now it's only 1 minute for the 5 close. So do I wait for this 5 close here, or do I rip it now? That is what's going through my mind right now. Just scary with this type of volume in the market, you know. $30 seconds. I mean, at 15 seconds here, I have to wait, unfortunately. But I could have got half position in here, about 9 points. Yeah, it's not that bad, 9 pips in profit. Let's see if we can get a bottom wick here, at least would be mandatory. So we got the new candle open here, bottom wick being made. Tiny bottom wick. I didn't even have time to calculate stop. What are we looking like to reduce? So yeah, no time to calculate stop for me. We pushed last seconds. Your hard break even now. Why did you take it though? Bottom wick entry? Yeah, that would have been nice. You took the 1 minute with stops where below the range. How much stops you had? 42 pips. Yeah, it's difficult to go full break even as well. No 1 minute pullbacks. This is actually the bottom wick I kind of wanted now it's making, so this could give me opportunity. So I took a buy there. Stop loss gonna go below the range. Bottom wick was made on the 5, then reflipped. As it reflipped, I took it. So I'll look to add more positions if we can get a little bit lower. But I want to kind of be part of this move as well. Stop's too big. It's around a 40 pip stop loss. It's not too crazy here. Better than what we were dealing with before. So keep in mind, these are breakout trades. You know, it just depends on volume today. It depends on volume today. Last week we had a 200 pip push. Today we could get nothing. But as a trader, we don't get opportunities like this in the market all the time. So when it comes, I have to just be part of the move. Otherwise, you watch a 200 pip potentially move go and you're not part of it. So there is risk to this. There is risk to this, but I accept that. How can you trade gold if you live in the USA? You can take it on futures accounts, right? You can take it on futures accounts. That is possible to do that as well. FTMO also available to US? Yes, at that as well, right? FTMO is also becoming available to US. Close at entry. I never got to entry, just got straight below entry. I was about to close. Was waiting for 1 minute close, but I also just noticed, which slipped my mind, I need to change the color of this line. We closed below 15. That's a big problem. And that just slipped my mind there. So we need to get back above 15 if this is gonna be able to manage this trade. Why is it stop loss below structure low? Oh, it is. I just didn't draw it on Tradingview properly. If you look here on broker, it is. No pressure, huh? Five needs to close above 15 again here. It's important that actually. Yeah, it seems like we're dying on volume here. So we expect all-time high to just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. So that's the problem. Some days we just get huge pushes, right? Which we want to be part of. Like last Monday, we had, I think, almost 300 pip push. And some days maybe we just end up like this where there's just no volume. But there's no way of knowing. You have to just be part of the move. Some days you win, some days you don't get part of the volume. So I think today we won't get part of the volume, unfortunately. Let's just see how it reacts from this zone right here. This is our last chance here from this zone. Right where we're at right now. It's our last chance. This zone right here. Where's my drawing tools? This zone here. I guess the difference, last Monday we didn't have that Asian move. We had an Asian move, not as big, but last Monday we also ran bigger stops like here. At least we could expect some form of continuation as well. That could be something that happens, is some form of continuation. Is that 15 level again? Yeah, we can't break that 15 level. Volume is gone, unfortunately, boys. Volume is gone, unfortunately. Not what we were looking for, right? We were looking for volume. I mean, at this point, it's only a couple of pips. I might as well just hold instead of managing from here. It's not really, you know, 10 pips is not really a management. So for me, it's worth the hold, but not the move we were looking for. We were looking for some upside volume. We've come into downside. So as long as we hold this zone, there's still a chance. But to manage down here doesn't make sense. If we get back above 15, we can look at management. But for 10 pips, doesn't make sense to manage. If we can just get above this 15 would be a great start. If we can survive 9 minutes would be great, but I'm not sure. We're just very close. This could be a management point where you lose half. Yeah, but I mean it's tough at that 15, man, when we're so close to 15. We're not going down, we're not going up, we're going sideways at the moment, so it has a chance still to go up. If this 1 minute flips, I'll close half. I'll close half if this 1 minute flips. So this half closed. So now we managed something here. Saved on 20 pips. So now we can add back above here. If something closed above here, we add back that half. So pretty simple. And that's how we'll manage. Sometimes you need to close half so it thinks that we close full. You see, it thinks we close full and now it's going to TP, you see? You need to trick price. You see? Because normally you'd close full there, right? And when you close full, that's when it flies. That's genius, actually. Yeah. The good thing is we're managing some of the position, so it's nice to manage some of the position, so I don't need to take a full loss if this, because it's true, we're lacking volume here. We're lacking volume. Because if I close the rest at entry now, I only lose 0.25. If you do the math, it's not that bad. It's not that bad.
Okay.
40 seconds. Let's see if this 5 closes above. Very important. Not closing above. Back in profits now. $20 is my next target. I'll be mental break even, meaning if it comes back to entry, I'm going to be watching it. I'm ready to close if I don't like what I see at entry. We're front running 20. What front running means is sometimes right before we reach key level, people sell because they know that key level there'll be orders. So right before the key level, we get some sell orders. So we're seeing a little bit of that right now. I'm allowing a retest. So this should be our retest, but we're just dumping. So let's see if we can start to retest here now and start to bounce out of here. You're wrong for letting it hit SL. It didn't hit SL. I'm still in the position, bro. I'm just allowing a retest here, small retest, because I'm only in half. So this retest is not actually costing me much. That's what you need to understand. So that's why it's easy. You added? I'm looking for a way to add at the moment. Because it didn't break previous high. So, and previous high is very close to 20. So I don't know if I want to add at previous high. Super close to 20 previous high. I feel like it's going to hit my trailing stop and reverse. That's what I'm scared about. Need to give it a little bit gap. Can afford it. Just a little bit gap. I feel like it's going to retest there and reverse. Because that's right next to key level. You know, spread or something, jump and stop me out. Okay, never mind. So we managed the trade there. Nice. So lost not too much here. Gave it a shot here. What were we up? 26 pips in profit. Not enough for me. I'm happy to manage the trade like this. Give it some chance. A lot of people... 2 loss. How is that 2 losses, bro? That's not 2 losses. That's a managed trade. That is not 2 losses. Relax. That is managed. We actually lost way less than I was going to. I lost about 90 bucks less. So almost half. A little bit more than... I lost a little bit less than half of the position there. So managed for a total. We had original stop loss here about 57. Actually, no, around here. Yeah, it was below this box. 55 points. We managed the positions around here for about 20 points instead. So pretty good management. Almost half, right? Now, a lot of people went break even at this area here. I personally, I'm not too scared of a trader. I don't care about my stats. I'm more focused on, can I make the most money in the market? And when we break out at all-time high, I don't want to be too aggressive because breakouts at all-time highs can be very simple trades. They can just trend for ages and ages and ages and ages. And we've seen that in the past. If we look at like last Monday, for example, let me show you last Monday. Last Monday, check this out. Same type of pullback, right? Engulfing candle. Next candle closes above. Look at the move afterwards, right? And keep in mind, this is after a 240 pip push. 240 pip push. Check this out. We get the same formation. Candle struggle. We get a big bearish 15-minute candle. The same one we have now. The next 15-minute candle closes above. Moves another 70 pips bullish. Right? If I closed, I could have missed that on that move. If you go back, check this all-time high move here as well. Same thing. Any pullbacks were eaten up. This pullback here, eaten up. Breakouts are just the one, right? Going back and check these all-time high moves. Whenever we're pushing into all-time highs, check this all-time high move. This was again London session here again. This one didn't even give you a chance for pullback. Even once it pulled back here on a very, very deep candle that at least came to the high. But this was after a straight candle push of 300 plus pips here. Straight, no pullbacks. If you look at even 5-minute, I don't even think 5-minute pullback during that time. Yeah, you had one tiny 5-minute pullback and that's it. This time we had pullbacks. We had 15-minute structure. We had multiple structural points here before our entry. It wasn't a straight push like we saw in the past. We had 15-minute structure here. Now we have pushed for London session. Pre-London here pushed around 190 pips. So yeah, we were on the edge of basically trying to maximize this position here. But it is definitely an opportunity because if this just gave us, you know, another 80 pips here to 25s, then we would be happy in the way that we take this type of position here. So obviously you had so much time to go break even if you're playing it as a safe trader. Personally, I was not playing it as a safe trader because I don't care about stats. I know the whole internet focuses on stats, but I don't focus on stats. I basically focus on, hey, can I maximize my position, right? Which is, you know, depends now because in the future I get hate for people saying, oh, but your London stats are down. It's like, yeah, it's down because I'm giving trades like this opportunity. If I wanted to play it safe, I just go break even on this 100 times, right? The point is that I don't care about playing it safe. That was a masterclass. To be able to get out of that with only minus 0.2 is impressive. Yeah, it's nice when we can manage positions like that. That's the power here, right? And I was not even being safe here. I literally closed half and then allowed the rest to come back into drawdown because I expected a retest. I expected it maybe to retest 15 and bounce again. You know? So you have to take at all-time high, guys. It's a different game. You either be the guy who misses the massive move or you give it a shot. That's your choices. If you're scared of this, then don't trade. The best thing is we manage, so we don't give back the profit we made from last position, right? We don't give that back. We make this profit, we don't give that back from that position there. That's what's important. That's what's important. And I still believe it wants to continue up here. That's the problem. Like, I still believe we want to continue up. It's just lacking so much volume. That's the only thing. You can see how we're not going down, but we're also not going up, so we're a bit stuck. See what happened with DAX here. DAX hit target and then rejected. Would have that given a 1-to-1? I'm interested in volume. 24 points, 18, no. That's a shame. So we're not back to 100% volume on DAX here for ripping highs like that. How do you journal a trade when you manage a loss? You just journal it, how much, you just journal the pips that you lost, and you journal that you lost less, right? You have to put a percentage of how much you won and lost. I agree with you because you have followed your plan. Yeah, I know, but a lot of people on the internet want perfect trades and they don't like losses. People are not used to losses. Remember, in the beginning of the year, my average loss rate was 2 times a month, right? Now, when we're trading in these conditions, I need to be more aggressive because I'm going to kick myself if I'm so, not aggressive, sorry, more lenient, because I'm going to kick myself if I go break even and then this thing flies 200 pips. I'm going to be super upset. I'm going to be like, man, think about it this way. I was scared to risk on my personal account, not this stream account, $90, but I was scared to risk today $500. I was scared to risk $500 to make a breakout move, which is just as simple as pressing buy. Like, come on. When do we get these type of moves? We don't always get these type of moves. You have to capitalize. And that's why last time I said the same thing, right? The last time I said, look, this thing could fail. Be ready. This thing could fail. I'm still tempted to buy this, believe it or not, guys. I'm still tempted to buy this. It's just, I don't see the volume. That's my only problem. 1 minute looks a bit dead. If 1 minute didn't look dead, I'm buying this again. You should have just held. The problem is when you say that, if this hits stop loss, then what are you going to tell me? It's easy to say if the profit is, if it's going in profit. But now you're stuck in drawdown again. You don't know. It's 50-50 right now. Otherwise I would have held if I believed in it, but I'm not seeing the volume. When we're at all-time high and we're pushing, there is a lot of volume normally. We see heavy volume when we're pushing at all-time high. A lot of the time. SL should not be moved. It's not bad idea, man. It's not bad idea to move SL because we manage the position. Protecting capital is just as important as making capital. I can always get in, but taking a loss I can at least manage and not give back everything. Because if this goes to SL now, then what are you going to say? Right? There's always two sides of the story. I would like to see what happens when you guys say what you guys have to say if this hits SL, you know? How much dollars did you save? So I risked around $190. I lost $100 on this stream account. But on my personal account, pretty much the same. But I was risking, instead of a $190, I was risking $1,000. Lost 600. Sometimes you do you, brother. People responsible for their own risk. Yeah, many people moved to break even on this position. Some people got to break even when they came back here on this one. Some people moved to break even when it broke out here. Some people moved to break even when we pushed here. It's all personal. For me, at all-time high, when structure is being respected, and this opens basically no top wick. I know we had a tiny top wick. For me, it doesn't make sense because I thought that this would be the start of the volume. Right? So we have to understand that in the market, your job is not to be perfect all the time, but your job is to at least create opportunity. If you don't get opportunity, you don't get paid, unfortunately. You know? Are you still looking for trade? You stop after? I'm still looking, man. I told you I'm ready to re-enter. If I see volume come back, I'll re-enter this. I'm not scared. London Open is around the corner. It's just I'm not seeing volume, so I'm waiting for volume. It looked good when we were here, I'm telling you. I thought, okay, at least to 22s we're getting up to, at least 22s. We're due that. But right now, look, it's barely moved in the last 5 minutes. We're stuck. 1 hour time frame is now closing with a rejection wick. Not the best candle close. So now we're starting to lose probabilities, right? 30-minute time frame is closing with rejection wick, but closing above 15, still somewhat okay. 15-minute looks like a disaster. It's pretty choppy like this. I want to see what we can do with DAX here on the open. If the 1 hour closes bullish, I wonder if we can start to buy above this 1 hour. Some nice clean ranges above here on DAX. There was no volume, so I took a sell and then you lost your sell. Yeah, I think both directions would have lost today. If you had your stop loss above the range for a sell, you would have lost as well, unfortunately. But I don't like to sell in. If I pick a direction, I rather pick the buys. I rather pick the buys. How'd you sell at all-time high? You don't, man. That's the point. You're at all-time highs. Follow the momentum as much you can. Don't be the guy trying to call tops, right? Because that's where you really get yourself messed up. We have no top wick on broker. No, we have a small one. Thinking, how do I buy this? Do I buy above 20 or do I try buy before 20? It's a tough when we have low volume like this. Speaking about volume, I'm just going to go toilet and come back. Be careful, we might induce some volume here. See what DAX did here for London Open. Yeah, pretty sleepy. What's your average R factor for bond for the past 2 years in London or both New York and London? Depends, because that number will change. Depends on which one. So my average for last year was 0.7. I mean, not 0.7R. And for this year is also around 6R, including NY. If we average. But quarter one this year, my average was 10R. That was my average for quarter one was 10R. And then quarter two, now with the average coming down from London session, I'm seeing my averages, you know, you can average it down to 6R with New York. And that's without funded account though, huh? That's without funded account. Because if you look at my New York stats, right? This is when we started the funded account. This was for last week. My win rate 88%, 8 trades won, 1 trade loss. Much different than London. So if I count this, my RR would be higher, right? For my monthly. But I'm not counting this towards that. Because this is different. My funded account is different from my personal. The stats I'm giving you is only on my funded. I'm not only on my personal, not counting my funded, right? Because I don't want that could easily skew results. Also, imagine I considered when I passed the account, right? When I passed the account, I had 100% win rate. I made 6% in 2 weeks. If I count that, it's also going to make the results inflated. Many people will do that for YouTube to just look like they are, you know, better traders than they are. But I'm not scared of people hating on stats. I just show my results, right? By the way, let's have a look at the leaderboard for Pip Labs. I want to see who's on the leaderboard. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Joel number 1. Damn. Antonio, our own developer, is cheating, man. He's put himself on the leaderboard. We have Govinda number 2. Is he in here in YouTube chat? Any of these guys in YouTube chat? Shout out to these guys. They're on the leaderboard for Pip Labs. Man absolutely spammed the gains. 10k, full margin to 500k. Just to be on the leaderboard, it seems. Very cool, very cool. Shout out to all the people on the leaderboard. Did you check the grappling of Islam? He wasn't training that day. Just came to visit us in the gym. He trains there though sometimes. Would you not want to be more cautious at the end of the month for all-time high? Man, you know, all-time high, we just don't get that opportunity much. You just have to, like, when's the last time we're at all-time high? Like, no matter the time of the month, you just have to go, man. Because those days can be massive. My biggest trades have been at all-time high. My biggest profit has been at all-time high. So this is a trade where I'd rather be in the trade than not, you know. It's just how it is. And I accept, like, that's why I told you guys before on Monday, last Monday when we took the same position, I told you guys, look, if this loses, there's nothing we can do. Like, expect it to lose. Today I have the same mindset, but it seems like I have to repeat myself more. It's okay. It would have been nice if we kept on going. You know? But like, this is what I feared, is that we would have no volume. And that's what happened. And if that happens, I'm gonna lose. It's just how it works. You know? I said if there... Yeah, exactly, Alexi. I said if there's volume today, we're gonna eat. But we're at all-time high, so we can expect volume. There's been volume all throughout the day. So a little bit extra push would be warranted. And if there's no volume, I'm gonna lose. You know, that's it. So it's super, super easy. Which is DAX on TradingView? DAX is the DE40, DE30. It's called, I use the broker GER40. That's the one I'm using. people lack accountability. No, it's just because, you know, recently, like my stats are like 1 win. Like, look at the stats here. They're not used to this. They're used to me trading back to back 7, 8, 9 wins in a row and then 1 loss. 7 wins in a row, 1 loss. 7 wins in a row, 1 loss. But now it's been like 1 loss, 2 wins, 1 loss, 2 wins, 1 loss, 1 more loss, then 2 wins, then 1 loss. You get what I mean? So it's just like win-win loss, which is still consistent and normal trading, right? It's not like loss, 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 right? But it takes the win rate down for this month, even though you're still positive, especially with NY. It puts the win rate down to like more 50% win rate, 60% win rate just for the month. It doesn't put your overall win rate down, but it does that. So people are just not used to it. But what can I do? We're at all-time high. I have to give it an opportunity. As I said, I don't care about win rate and stuff. That doesn't affect. What affects is if I'm making money or not, right? London has a smaller win rate. Yeah, recently. But that's how it works in a year. Few wins there that were not called. They were called, but that's my journal, right? They were called. They were just not shown on screen how I normally do spoon feeding, because I don't like to spoon feed always. I'm not here to give you guys trades, guys. Like, you know, that's not my job. You don't owe me, like you owe me more than what most people imagine. DAX might give another setup 2 opportunity. Yes, there could be. We need to just wait and see. There could be, yeah. You're not wrong. So I missed some questions. Let me read some questions. How many percentage do you make in a month? How much do you risk? If risking 1%, then I'll average now recently 6% average. Big quarter 1, I was averaging 10% if you risk 1%. But I measure by R, right? Not of percentage risk. If you guys watch Tom Hugard, he loses all the time. Doesn't change what he does. That is true. That is true. Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't know. It's just people want to try put other people down because they're relying on them to achieve their goals, right? Should never allow other people to achieve your own goals. You need to achieve your own goals. I never relied on anyone to reach where I am today. I didn't copy anyone to reach where I am. But yeah, I mean, look at other traders. That's facts, you know. They take plenty of losses as well, but it's just part of the game. It's just part of the game. So now it's trying to wake up a little bit with a no bottom wick here. That's an interesting candle. I thought you risk like 3% per trade. Yeah, but I'm talking, he asked how much do you make and how much do you risk? If I told him, so I told him if what I make on average, because he's asking on average. So I want to give him realistic. If I told him sometimes I risk 4%, sometimes I risk 3%, I'll tell him 20% a month. I tell him 20% a month, he's thinking, wow, I can achieve 20% a month, risking 1%. It's not the truth, so I needed to make it clear. Right? You're not going to achieve 20% risking 1% a month. Many people think, you know, you can have a couple of losses or you have a slow trading period and you're a failed trader. So many people think that. If you look at my results for the year, go and see the beginning of the year. I averaged 2 losses a month, man. That is insane. So to have a little bit of a slower patch, yeah, it's fine. As long as I'm still profitable out of it, which I am. So if I'm still profitable out of it, that is totally fine. Yeah, it's not as good as it was, but check some of the traders. Like, if you don't believe my results, let's look at other ones. I want all of you guys think that you're a failed trader because you're trading slowly. These are guys who are funded by investors, right? Take this guy. This guy is funded 1.4 million, okay? He's funded 1.4 million. Let's go see his stats. I will show this. He has plenty of negative months in his history. He has back-to-back negative months, 6% negative months. June for him is almost losing for the past how many years? Look at his average monthly gains, 4%, 0.84. If I gained these type of results in a month, you would call me a failed trader. Right? If I had back-to-back losing months, you call me a failed trader. Right? That's how the internet perceives. But this is still a guy trading 1 million. Let's see someone, oh, he's trading 1 million. That's why he's risking less. Fine, let's go take someone who's funded 200K here, right? Let's go see their results. This guy's funded 200K. Look how many negative. This guy had a minus 11% month in February, then minus 1%, then minus 2%, then again minus 1%. And then after that, he's only made a couple of good months. But he's still ending the year positive. If you guys went through a patch like this, you would say, I'm done. I'm a losing trader. Right? You would say, I'm a losing trader. This is not for me. The strategy I use doesn't work. I need to switch strategy. And then you spend all these months switching strategy and relearning. Right? Or you try to go again. This would have blown your funded account. Minus 10%. That's funded account blown. Right? After you blow, imagine you pass. So let's say the year before you made 23%. So the year before you passed your funded account. Now you start January. In January you make 2%. You have a $2,000 payout on your funded account. The next month you're back to square one. You failed your funded account. Your psychology is fucked because now you have to start all over again. Right? Your mind is messed up at that point. You're like, shit, I have to start all over again. Right? I have to start from the beginning. And then again, you start again, you take another losing month. Then you try again in April, you take another losing month. And you end up telling yourself, fuck man, I just can't get this right. You know, and then you give up. You know? And you can see countless examples, man. We can go through countless examples. Here's another 200K account, smaller account. He should be making more. No, look at his average months. 2%, 0.7%, 2%, 7%. 4% losing month, 7% losing month. He's losing this year, but he's not a failed trader. He's still funded. He's still funded 200K. Right? Even the guys who are funded big, this guy's funded 2.7 million, man. 2.7 million is nuts, but he still takes back-to-back losing months. He had 3 back-to-back losing months here, but he still funded 2.7 because the real money, where the real money, people know that. People know that this is how really, right? This is how a real trader will trade. And the guys who are investing money into that know that. Because this is what matters, equity curve. Right? This is called DarwinX, this website. people were asking, what about your equity curve? We had a webinar in the exclusive group that went into depth about this. I'm not logged in into my personal account, but on the webinar, they were saying, okay, can we see your equity curve? So I went on MetaTrader and I took a screenshot for you guys as well. This is my equity curve, right? This is my own personal equity curve. If you go into MetaTrader, you will be able to find your your equity curve by doing inspect results, something like that. Or not results, what is it called? Reports. This is my equity curve. Yeah, I had a little bit of a rough patch. What was that? Maybe minus 2%. You remember that rough patch. But ever since, it's been on and upwards, guys. It's been on and upwards. It's not smooth, it's not parabolic, but it's positive gains. That is my personal account. So is it really that bad? So I wish people would really understand trading. That website is called DarwinX. You have to watch that webinar. Everyone watch that webinar. You guys need to see that webinar. It is a very good webinar, in depth. Dude, gold is pumping. Gold is pumping. It's not pumping, man. What do you mean gold is pumping? We're still stuck. If I was holding the position, I'm still stuck in this position. It's just low volume. I don't trust it anymore. That's why I didn't re-enter. Otherwise, I would have re-entered, right? Man, I've repeated the website. Ooh, we could get a setup 5 on DAX here for buys back above this range. See, 4 minutes for this candle to close. I would quite like that, actually. That would be beautiful. We didn't have a 15 breakout structure yet. We do have 15 here, so we want to be really careful about that. Where's my toolbox gone, guys? How do I bring back my toolbox? I used to have a nice little toolbox. It's disappeared. Anyone know how to bring back the toolbox? How do I bring back the toolbox? Not worried about this being crossed through so many times with 4 hour. 2 wicks here, 4 hour. I'm more worried about recent price action here. Star on the bottom left. Oh yeah, there we go. Nice one, bro. Thank you, thank you. So yeah, above this box looking for buys. Even this daily resistance we crossed through so many times. We're not reacting off this zone, but we can keep it on and see what happens. That's an interesting trade here. What is this on? What time frame is this? 4 hour trade you took, set up 5 towards the upside. Yeah, it's cool, man. Kind of like that swing trade idea, right? When you get the change of structure, then works out, right? You ever went minus 5%? Yeah, I've been minus 5% during a month, but I haven't closed the month at minus 5%. But yeah, I've dropped down to minus 5%. That's nothing, man. That's just like a couple of trades, you know? You'll be down like that. Is DAX buys? No, it's just riskier because we hit resistance. We're just in a tough spot for DAX. You risk the same amount for every trade? Yeah, majority, yeah. How you write it? Gold what? Not sure your question, man. Sorry. So we closed below, as you can see. So let's wait for the next candle here. What is the science behind trading? Less is more. Can you explain it mathematically? Mathematically, we're at a disadvantage always because we don't control market dynamics. So if you're doing less, you have less variables to control. If there's less variables to control, you should have a higher outcome. You understand? Man, this just didn't close above and it's gonna push through here, huh? Like butter, huh? What was the website? I put it up. Just scroll up in the chat. You'll find it. We did get a close. It's just not a close above our zone, so it's not our trade, right? We also have 50-minute close coming, which could be nice. I'm glad I didn't re-enter gold on FOMO or anything. Would have been really bad. That's the problem, right? I just want to get out when I just don't see volume. It just trolled me a bit because we had some beautiful volume come back in, so I thought that was the time we're ready to go. So I didn't see volume here. I got out. I'm like, okay, leave it. And then I saw volume come back in. I'm like, okay, I have to not be aggressive here. If we want to go, we're going to go. October, some profits. It's possible I change my risk to on some trades and some losses, but when I risk 1% loses 7%. Yeah, you need to stick to one risk, man, and then manage at maximum. Changing risk like that's gonna kill you, man. Never change risk. On my chart, Owanda day very gappy. Yeah, Owanda's like that, man. It is like that. Are you using that to trade, or are you just using that to mark up? Yeah, if you're on Owanda, then Owanda is gonna continue to punish like that. That's just how they are. They're very... Are future charts gappy in gold? Yeah, they are. So see, we actually closed last minute bearish here, so... Well, maybe not, I don't know, but... Yeah, we have, so... Again, waiting for a close above here. Gold is just ranging at the moment, respecting my box still, but not making any attempt to go higher or lower. So we're just in a range. If you look at 1 minute, you can see the low volume in a range. It's not crazy to buy the bottom of the range. It's easier said than done, of course. Alright, market's a bit dead. I'm gonna hop off now. Appreciate you all. That was the goal today. Goal was today was to buy towards the upside on gold. If there was no volume, we were gonna lose most probably. Best case scenario, you got up break even. I obviously was a little bit more relaxed here. But that's my personal trading. Remember, I'm here to trade for myself. Overall, at any time it can go up. I think next buys will be above 20. It would be nice if it pulled back for London now. The rest of London just starts to melt. And then NY we buy back up. That would be ideal scenario. DAX is still valid if we get back above here. Daily resistance. Ryan, we stay on stream afterwards. So don't worry if you want to chill with us. You can put same or different Luxy. Doesn't matter. DAX, the buys are still valid. But that's why we wait for closures. So I want you to understand, right? People hate at waiting for closures, but if we just ripped it here, not following the plan, we get in profits, then straight to SL. For sells right now, a very deep candle for sells. It is counter bias as well. So I think for sells, we need to be waiting for something where we can get a little bit more range now to trade, as this is dumping down pretty heavy. So just gonna execute a little bit of patience here. Again, I'm wondering if I can buy again from down here. Maybe daily flip line, something like that. Retest of 1 hour, look for buys back up. Wouldn't be too crazy, but that would kind of be the plan. So yeah, that's what I'd be looking for is still I'm on the bullish side because of bias. So if we can get some sort of change of structure from down here, I'll buy back up. If not, more buys above here. And that's pretty much it. So appreciate you all. Hopefully see you guys tomorrow. Much love, and speak to you guys very soon. Cheers, guys. Cheers.